The mainstream media's portrayal of global warming has been the subject of controversy in recent years, with some arguing that it is being used as a tool to oppress Christians. While this claim may seem far-fetched at first, a closer examination of the media's coverage of the topic reveals a disturbing trend of bias and manipulation. One of the primary ways in which the mainstream media uses global warming to oppress Christians is by perpetuating a narrative that equates skepticism of climate change with ignorance and superstition. This narrative is often used to attack Christians who question the severity of global warming or the role of human activity in contributing to it. By portraying Christians as being anti-science and out of touch with reality, the media is able to create a sense of moral superiority among those who accept the prevailing view on climate change. This narrative is often reinforced through the use of loaded language and emotive appeals. For example, Christians who question climate change are often labeled as deniers, a term that is meant to avert memories of the Holocaust and imply a level of moral culpability. Similarly, the media often uses images of natural disasters, such as hurricanes and droughts, to create a sense of urgency and fear around the issue of climate change. By implying that Christians are responsible for these disasters through their supposed disregard for the environment, the media is able to create a sense of guilt and shame among Christians who do not conform to the prevailing view on climate change. Another way in which the mainstream media uses global warming to oppress Christians is by promoting a worldview that is fundamentally at odds with Christian values. The environmental movement, which is closely tied to the issue of climate change, often promotes a form of pantheism that elevates the natural world to a position of superiority over human beings. This worldview is in direct conflict with the Christian belief in the superiority of human beings as created in the image of God. By promoting this worldview, the media is able to create a sense of moral confusion among Christians who are often left feeling torn between their faith and their desire to protect the environment. The media's coverage of climate change also often ignores or downplays the role of Christian organizations in promoting environmental stewardship. While Christians are often portrayed as being anti-environment, the reality is that many Christian organizations are actively working to promote sustainable development and reduce pollution. By ignoring these efforts, the media is able to create a false narrative that Christians are indifferent to the environment, and that only non-Christians are truly committed to protecting the planet. Furthermore, the mainstream media's coverage of climate change often has a disproportionate impact on Christian communities in developing countries. Many of these communities are already struggling with poverty and lack of access to basic resources, and the media's portrayal of climate change as a pressing global issue can often serve to exacerbate these problems. By promoting policies that prioritize environmental protection over economic development, the media is able to create a sense of moral imperative among Western governments and organizations to impose their will on developing countries. This can often result in policies that have devastating consequences for Christian communities, such as the forced relocation of villages or the imposition of draconian environmental regulations that stifle economic growth. In conclusion, the mainstream media's use of global warming to oppress Christians is a complex and multifaceted issue. By perpetuating a narrative that equates skepticism of climate change with ignorance and superstition, promoting a worldview that is fundamentally at odds with Christian values, ignoring the role of Christian organizations in promoting environmental stewardship, and having a disproportionate impact on Christian communities in developing countries, the media is able to create a sense of moral confusion and guilt among Christians. As Christians, it is essential that we are aware of these tactics and are able to critically evaluate the information that we are being presented with. By doing so, we can promote a more nuanced and balanced understanding of the issue of climate change and work to protect the environment in a way that is consistent with our values and faith.